All right, we're back. What up, you guys? Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Game Drain with
Fucking falls
me.
asleep.
Yeah, I know, right? With me, Ham Solo, Quan, Matt likes games or licks games, and our day's Mike.
Hell yeah!
What's going on, you guys? How you guys doing today? What's been going down? What you've been playing? I can tell you that my Xbox crashed while trying to play Need for Speed Unbound. I ran out of time, and the Xbox just didn't know what to do. So it just crashed, and my whole screen went black. My whole screen went black, and I tried to hit the buttons, and the buttons weren't doing the buttons. The controller was rumbling, but the console was fumbling. So yeah. So I went to my PS5. No, I'm just kidding. No, I restarted the Xbox and it was just fine. It just once I turned it back on, it said this trial is over, and I was like, God damn it, because I just escaped the cops right before that fucking shit happened.
But right before he started playing the game.
So I was really not happy about that. But other than that, getting back into 2K. I don't know if we talked since last time about Callisto Protocol, if we beat it or not. But yeah, I beat that. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know if we talked about that last time or not.
We talked about our impressions. We hadn't beat it yet, but we talked about our impressions.
Okay. Forspoken, played some of that. That game is fun, but I'm less enthused. I'm less enthused now that I played it, which is not what a demo is supposed to do, but it's what it did. But anyways, I'm gonna let somebody else go ahead and speak on it. Speak on what they've been playing. I'm gonna go first. The hard days, Mike. What's going on?
What? No, I'm just kidding. What have I fucking been playing?
Why is this always a hard question for you?
I'm playing Doom, but no one wants to know that I'm playing Doom. No one gives a shit.
I'm always playing Doom. Sleeping. Like you might as well tell us that you slept that night.
Yeah, you know, it's like no one fucking gives a shit about that, and understandably so. I feel like I've been playing like a million things, and I can't.
Probably something on Steam.
I want to start playing The Witcher 3, but I'm waiting for the next gen update to come out. Yep. I've not played it yet, and I'm very excited for that to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So realistically, just a bunch of Doom.
No indie first person shooters of any kind.
I've been playing Necromunda Hired Gun. That's a fun little game, but it's on sale for $20. I definitely wouldn't recommend it for any more than that. Well, it's not bad. It's just very, very fucking janky.
Mm-hmm.
Like
slapped together in Unity or something, or
it was made by a smaller team, so I'm not shitting on them, but Jesus Christ, is that game janky? I mean, it was in a small, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's janky as fuck, that's for sure. It's a fun game though, at the very least.
That's good.
That's really it for me.
Sure.
Good.
Sure.
Right.
What about you, Matt? Actually, wait a minute. I'm not the head of the fucking show.
No. Yeah, you can. I mean, you can push it along for me and make it easier for me. That's fine.
Need for Speed. I'm playing Need for Speed. I beat Callisto, and now I'm playing Need for Speed.
What do you think of how you feeling about Need for Speed?
It's the best Need for Speed since I was a kid.
That's good.
Yeah,
I agree. Honestly,
that's a big compliment.
Yeah. They nailed it. They really nailed it.
I feel like Need for Speed really hasn't been good since the PS2 and the OG Xbox era. I feel like,
the very beginning of 360. Last good one was Carbon for me.
Yeah, Carbon was great. That's early. I know because I know Carbon and Most Wanted. Those actually came out on the 7th generation consoles. Yep. That was very early, right? They're almost pretty much launch titles. I know Carbon was a launch title for the PS3.
Carbon actually also came out on the original Xbox and PS2.
They're cross-generation games. Yeah.
Yep.
It wasn't Carbon just a continuation of a different one?
Was a continuation of what?
Wasn't Carbon like technically like a continuation of a different game?
Like it felt like a sequel to Most
no
Wanted
idea.
05.
Thank
Like,
you.
I honestly
So
don't
like I always hear like it's a sequel. Like
I'm not sure if it's a
technically
sequel,
kind of
but
a
it feels
like
like
this
the next
like
game.
the story
Like-
kind of goes like continues to go from Most
Yeah,
Wanted
I'm not sure.
to Carbon.
I feel like I'm pretty sure Most Wanted and Carbon are connected, but they're not like it's not the same story. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure the same characters in there in Carbon in Most Wanted 05. Like they share
Gotcha.
same characters, but it's not like the same story. Like the same guy that you.
So it
play
is the
as, you
same
know?
like characters though.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same
All right,
universe.
because you're telling me because I haven't played, I haven't enjoyed or cared about playing for Need for Speed until recently. Since
really?
and no, I'm not saying I haven't played Need for Speed. I had Underground 1 and 2, and I mean I started out playing Need for Speed Hot Pursuit on my PC back when I had a Windows 98.
Remember that?
So I remember driving the Lamborghini. What was it? The Countach and the Diablo SV, and what was that one car that was fake? The El Diablo or something like that. Was it the El Diablo?
I want to say it was El Diablo. Something like Diablo. I don't remember what it was though.
But
I know
you know
exactly
what I'm talking about. It was like a crazy ass looking car, and I was like, dude, if this car was real, it'd be my favorite car, like hands down.
Yep.
When I was a little kid. But yeah, I played Need for Speed a lot, but once they started to get like really into the cop thing, it kind of fell off for me.
I felt the opposite way. Once they got into like Pro Street, Need for Speed Pro Street was like the beginning of the end of Need for Speed for me, where I was like, I'll just play Forza if I want this. I'll just play Forza. I don't want Need for Speed to do this. I'm glad they're back at this. I'm very happy they're back at this.
I feel like Need for Speed started getting really good at Hot Pursuit 2 on the PlayStation 2, specifically the PS2 version. Because I don't know if you know, Black Box actually made the PS2 version, and then the other versions, the GameCube version and the OG Xbox version, were actually outsourced to like a different studio entirely, and they're like completely different games. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
For a second, I thought you meant the studio. I thought you meant Hassan's studio.
No, Black Box Studio. Those are the people that made, obviously.
I was thinking of Blue Box.
Right? And then they also made Most Wanted.
Oh man, they got the. I'm so curious about their game still.
Yeah,
I mean, that doesn't exist.
Yeah,
I mean, that person was walking on the wooden floor.
Right? Yeah,
they made something, you know.
Dude, I technically made a thing in Unity where you can move forward. I mean, you know, hey.
Where's the fucking game, Matt?
It doesn't exist, just like theirs.
I don't know. I believe everything I see here on the internet.
Anyways, I think we're getting off topic now. Anyway, back to Need for Speed.
No, this is on topic. I'm just kidding.
No, it is. It is.
Go. Canadian, go.
Anyway.
But that's all I've been playing. So whoever wants to go next.
Canadian.
Yeah, whoever wants to go next.
I guess I'll go.
Get moving, Canadian.
All right, so obviously I've also been playing Need for Speed as well. That game I got busted, and I took a little bit of a break after that because I got pretty salty. I lost like $9,000. Not too much. It could have been worse. But after that I took a break, and I gave my TurboGrafx 16 some love. So I got some games. I got Devil's Crush. That's like easily the best pinball game ever made, like hands down. Everything about it is just perfect. The music, the art direction, just everything. The bosses you fight in it, it's just a fantastic game. And obviously I also got some Bomberman 94 going on. I got a nice little converter that lets me play Japanese turbo games on my TurboGrafx 16. So I've been using that as well. And what else do I have here? Lords of Thunder. Yeah, so yeah, I've been playing my TurboGrafx 16 a lot recently, but obviously Need for Speed, been doing that as well. And really, that's really about it because I've been a little busy this week. I haven't really been playing too much. I haven't been playing as many games as I've been wanting to play, but
work has completely KO'd me. I'm like fucking
work, and then today I was with some family members. You know, it's like today was kind of off. I didn't really play anything today, but yeah, that's pretty much wraps it up. Devil's Crush is freaking amazing, man. So good, such a good pinball game. I don't even like pinball that much. I just love this game though.
He's lying. He has 7 pinball machines in his room. Behind him,
man.
Under his bed.
He probably has 7 pinball games though.
Yeah, I mean, I've probably got a few. I know I have 2 on the Turbo Graphics, like Alien Crush and Devil's Crush, 2 best pinball games ever made, and those are on the Turbo Graphics 16. And obviously, there's Sonic Spinball. Everyone's played that one. Like, have you played that one, Ham?
Yes, I played that. I mean, that's
a classic.
That's definitely that's like something. Even though I didn't love it, played enough of it
because I played that as a kid. So that game is like when I boot that up, it's just nostalgia, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Because you get the Sonic thing, it gets stuck into that little thing, and starts like moving, like
the freaking it's really cool. The crocodile that tries to eat you when you go down and attack button mash to get out of it. You know,
it's pretty.
Just the music. The music's great in that game too. I like the music.
Yeah. But yeah,
Genesis
pinball. Music. Never been a big fan of pinball games. Even I remember the original pinball game that you got with your like Windows XP or 98 or something like that. There's like Space Common or Space Pinball or something like that. I'm
old enough to experience that shit on the Windows XP. I think that's what they would always bundle in with the Windows XP, I think. But I
was more of a solitaire guy.
Yeah, that shit was great. Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with that shit. That shit was awesome. Man, honestly, now I think about it, all those Windows XP games are also pretty sick. Now I think about it,
sick. Like, they really didn't get out of here.
They were pretty turned.
Like they really didn't need to include all that shit, but they just went in there and threw them in anyways. You know,
what the fuck are you talking about?
You're talking about those games that come with, on Windows XP, how there's all those games that they just
all those fucking bangers.
You're giving props to them.
Like, they're actually
fucking bangers.
Like they're kind of Turbo Math in school too.
Like they're honestly like kind of good for what they are. Just little freebies they throw in there, and like I think they actually. Funny thing is, I think they actually included a compilation on the Game Boy Color where it would actually be those Windows games, and like, yeah, sure, they actually packaged those games in.
What the fuck? What the fuck did they call them?
It was like Windows collection.
The computer can't run a real game, but here you go.
Yeah, so they actually bundled those games onto like a Game Boy cartridge, and you could play those games on your Game Boy, the Windows.
That is so funny to me.
So, yeah, because you could play solitaire on the go. You know,
I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry.
All right. Anyways, let's stop talking about Windows XP games.
Yeah, just stop talking completely.
Forever on Windows XP.
Oh, fuck it. All right, so Matt, we have some stuff to talk about, and I'm really kind of interested to get into some of these topics that we have this evening. So please go on ahead and let the gun off.
Okay, first up, we're getting this one out of the fucking way because everyone's talked about it except us at this point, and that is the FTC blocking.
No, should we talk about Forspoken first?
No, we shouldn't. No, we shouldn't, because I'm more enthusiastic about Forspoken than I am about the FTC blocking this. So we got the FTC suing to block Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard King. And then also with that, just a bonus to tack onto that is the fact that the EU came in, what was that, 2 days ago? It's on Friday, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And they said that actually you're suing them or you're blocking this deal. One of the main bases you're blocking this deal on actually isn't really true. Mm-hmm. So the FTC, you could call it either lied or just misinterpreted things, however you want to look at it. But the main basis that they're suing to block this deal on isn't really isn't really an argument. Because their main thing was that Xbox promised to keep everything multi-platform from Bethesda, and look what happened. They didn't, but in reality, Microsoft never promised to keep anything anywhere. In fact, they
specifically stated it was going to be a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, they were super, like, they were saying everything. I feel like they were saying everything they could possibly legally say before the deal legally went through to say these are going to be exclusive. But they can't
about the FTC now.
Yeah, they can't outright come out and say it because legally Bethesda wasn't theirs yet. So they had to say case by case basis.
Yeah. But then it's not denying anything,
Yeah,
it's not confirming
they didn't lie to anybody.
Yeah.
It was case by case basis, and it turns out in this case it's exclusive. Yeah.
And that's the thing, though. Even though they even said that, at the same time, it's like they like you guys just said, they promised no one that nothing would be exclusive or not exclusive, or go on.
No, I was just getting to the whole topic of like the FTC is suing to block this. You hear people like Hogue Law. I would listen in once the news broke. He did a live stream. I listened in for about 20 minutes, and he was getting questions all over the place. Like, how long does he think this could possibly go?
Oh God!
If the FTC really wanted to make an example out of Microsoft, how long could this possibly go? And he said, I was expecting 6 months. He said this could be a thing that goes on for years, if the FTC really wants it to. So fingers crossed they don't really want it to. But I kind of just want to get your guys' perspective on it really quick. What do you think about, I don't even know, I would say the basis on which they're blocking it, but we all know the main sticking point isn't. Yeah. But what are your guys, what was your instant reaction seeing that the FTC is suing to block Microsoft's acquisition?
Well, yeah, just seeing the fact alone that it's literally just lies. I feel like even if they really tried to go after this, I feel like they're gonna lose regardless, because they're literally like it's just not even true, right? Like literally Microsoft could literally just go. I don't even know if they really need like the most high-end lawyers for this. Like I think
I think they already, like, even before they got sued, hired like one of the most
Microsoft doesn't need high-end lawyers.
they certainly do.
That's fucking bullshit. Microsoft only uses high-end lawyers. I mean,
even if they didn't need them, they still got them.
Like, anyways, like I was saying, I could probably do this. I'd probably.
I can't remember her name, but they hired one lady that worked was a part of some blocking an NVIDIA deal. Right?
NVIDIA ARM deal.
Yeah, she blocked it, right? Wasn't that what she did? I have no idea. So, like, dude, she's known for being like absolutely cutthroat to get what she wants, pretty much. So, I have really, everyone's like, yeah, this deal's as good as dead. I'm like, dude, it's like their main argument has, and Hogue, he said, in a tweet thread, people saying, well, it's not necessarily right to say the FTC is lying.
Yeah.
They're not, but they kind of are like stretching. And I'm like, and part of me is like, yeah, they're not lying, but like, where are we going to draw the line of being like, what, like all this legal jargon, like what's, all of a sudden, if that's okay to say, why is what Microsoft say not okay to say then? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, where's, I don't know what the fuck. It's like, who's saying what they actually mean at this point is what I don't really understand. And who am I supposed to be taking at face value?
I mean, because I don't know, man. It doesn't sound like there's a whole lot of certainty on any level, so everyone's just kind of just throwing shit out there and just hoping that it sticks. Just a little bit of mudslinging going on.
And like, just to say super quick, it's like, it's just frustrating, because people like, when this all came out, people are like, oh, I told you Microsoft was lying to people behind closed doors. And then like, and then when that happened, and they cleared up and said, they didn't promise anything. Well, people are like, well, we weren't even talking about that in the first place. We meant the rest of the, I'm like, no, you guys, people, we know who they are. Or we're on Twitter. We're like, yeah, look how much, you know what I'm saying? Like saying how much Microsoft lies and all that. And now they can be like, oh no, we actually meant this. And it's so fucking annoying. I just want this shit to be over with. And it's like, I honestly didn't even care that much to begin with when this whole thing was announced. But now I just want him to win out of fucking spite. Because, like, I'm at the point where, like, I'm sick of Sony. I'm fucking sick of everyone. Like, I'm just like, I'm sick of it all. Like, I'm sick of Microsoft. We'll talk more about that later. but like right now, like I'm really, I don't even get into it right now, but like at the moment, I'm really tired of this fucking. I'm tired of it. I'm just tired.
Yeah. It's going on for far too long.
Yeah, it's and it's probably like it's possible it's going to be going on for years, but like once again though, and it's like, but like if their main argument has to like go through 70 different talking points to like see if their main statement is actually true or not, is it actually a good fucking like statement to make? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like because he was explaining, like, oh, he's like, yeah, you see, they technically weren't lying. They could have been referencing this because Microsoft said this. I'm like, no, like, yeah, I get it, I understand. However, their main complaint clearly state that they said Microsoft lied to the European Union. But you know, once again, he's like, well, this technically could mean they also said this. I'm like, yeah, but like, how far is this gonna go? Like how much are we gonna have to be reading into the wordage and verbiage and like, because if so, this shit's not gonna end fucking ever. Like,
or it seems like
like ever, dude. Like,
yep.
Because
like,
I think,
sorry, go on. Oh, this is saying, and like it's like, and what's that like pro union body of the government that's pissed off at the FTC for not, yeah. That are pretty pissed off at them for being like, yeah, this could be a good thing for their workers, but you guys like just don't care because you're too worried about blah blah blah, this that. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's such a clusterfuck. It is such a clusterfuck that it's gonna take so much to climb out of it and clear it, and either it falls or it passes. That's not even what I'm interested in anymore. It's more like how long is it gonna take to fucking get there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because at the moment everybody seems pissed off. Well, I mean, the most pissed off is Sony. Everyone other than apparently the FTC really is kind of like, yeah, all right, yeah, and I guess the what's that? The UK thing, government thing that,
yeah,
they're kind of like, but like realistically, like everyone doesn't care. But of course, important, you know, areas, you know, pardon me, I'm burping. Obviously, there's certain entities that do.
yeah.
It's just such a clusterfuck right now, and I'm tired of seeing Microsoft say, like, it's just like when Sony said they can't make a game that can compete with Call of Duty. It's like I'm tired of everyone just fucking giving up. First of all,
yeah,
like Call of Duty was not the main shooter at that time. There was other games out on the market that was doing well. Call of Duty just did one thing really well, and they stuck with it. You can do it, Sony and Microsoft. Stop saying your own games or shit. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, that shit was like imagine being like a Microsoft studio and how you just see that.
That's like the same thing PlayStation said about, you know, their developers in Call of Duty. They literally just made like they were making God of fucking War Ragnarok at the time. Horizon just came out. Like Returnal came out a few months ago. And all this other shit. It's like, what is wrong with these fucking companies? They're all trying to like act like these fucking I understand
just
you have
incompetent losers.
Like exactly, and I'm tired of it. And like so and like I don't know. It's fucking frustrating. I'm really frustrated. I'm frustrated around the dialogue about it because I would love to make sure Microsoft, you know, is so I know this might anger a lot of people on Xbox. I would love if Microsoft is somehow forced to guarantee that COD in some shape or another is everywhere. I think if they say that, I think it should hold true. I personally believe that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, when it comes to and I'm sorry, I'm a little bit scatterbrained. I'm just a little bit tired because work was fucking crazy tonight. But I'm kind of tired about the one thing I really am tired about the discourse is everyone just jumping to point and being like, no, I didn't mean it like this. I meant it like this. And we obviously always meant it like this because a talking point changes. I don't want the people that have no idea what the fuck they're talking about anymore to talk about this. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I'm not talking about it in a legal sense. Like everyone's like scanning these documents, taking screenshots, posting. I'm like, you don't understand a goddamn thing this is saying. Shut the fuck up.
Everyone thinks they're a lawyer now.
It's like the whole dialogue about it is frustrating. So it's. And like I said earlier, it's why I'm frustrated now that it's like now we have to like, oh, what verbiage is actually the legit verbiage that we're supposed to take serious and what is actually face value. And it's like, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to wait until the results are out to really even care. Because apparently every other day we're being told this was a lie or this was the truth or this was twisted and it's it's stupid. I'm fucking tired of it. That's all I got to say. I'm fucking tired of it.
I can definitely agree with that. But Ham, what are you thinking? Because
I mean, fuck.
Just real quick, I want to ask you because I was listening to the Xbox 2 podcast and you chimed in a few times on Super Chats. I heard your name come up. Well, Jez was talking about giving basically, well, kind of what Mike said. How about just let him have Call of Duty in perpetuity forever, whatever. But Jez was talking about if the concession to get this to go through to just speed up the process is we want Diablo, we want Crash, we want Spyro, we want anything prototype, whatever. We want all Activision.
All existing IP.
Yeah, if that's a concession that Microsoft needs to make, Jez was saying he's on board with it. And you chimed in, you asked him a question about it, kind of challenging his point on it. So I kind of want to hear what you think about the FTC blocking this, any possible concessions that might need to happen if that ever needs to happen. And how are you feeling about all of it?
You remember what I told Jez?
I don't remember the exact wording, but you disagreed with something with Sony's been like kicking your ass forever, kicking you when you're down, something to that effect of kicking you when you're down forever. And now you have a chance, you have the upper hand, and you're going to give them what they want.
So what I said to Jez was, I was like, bro, I said something upon the lines of, you are letting them like hit you in the nose, and then you're asking them if you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said you're because he was saying, oh, I'd hate to see like Crash, or I'd hate to see some of these Activision games like Spyro that have been a legacy on PlayStation. I'd hate to see that go away, and I'd really like to see possibly like I'd be fine if Microsoft made the concession, pretty much is what he was saying, that they have to put all of the Activision games on the PlayStation. And I was like, hold on a second. So like that's exactly what I mean. You're gonna let them punch you in the nose, and then you're gonna ask them if they're okay.
Yeah.
Like that's what it sounds like. Because wait a second. You didn't spend $70 billion. I did that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Tomb Raider wasn't yours, right? What happened to that?
Yeah. That's the thing too. It's like
that was Sega.
That was true, it was. And when Microsoft tried to make an exclusive, I mean a timed exclusive, mind you, while funding the game, everyone lost their fucking mind.
That was actually
the whole industry hated him.
Literally, there was Xbox even like
Ryan McCaffrey hated it, and not to again throw his name out there, but not like he's a good guy, but like he hated the fact that Tomb Raider was timed exclusive for Xbox, and he covers Xbox at IGN. It's like
it's like I don't know, it's this weird. There's something weird about like there's this weird romanticism with like PlayStation. I don't know what it is. I really there's a weird romanticism. People have weird romanticism with like a lot of things. Like I agree with him. It's like for me, like I think if COD is the concession, because they have said a million times they want to keep COD on PlayStation.
Double standards or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
that is the only thing they can do concessions on, in my opinion, in this, because like, that was the
they
topic
said it a
at
million
hand.
times. Yeah, exactly. They said it a million times. Like. But it's like I just don't even know what I don't really know anymore. I don't know what's in these documents. They might have something with Phil Spencer fucking lied to someone. I don't fucking know, and that's why I don't really want like have anything that in depth to say about it, because we don't know. Like you look at those files that are around on Twitter, there's like blacked out lines worth of paragraphs of info. Like we don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm so fucking tired.
It's very difficult to know at this point. And
so we don't know, but the one thing I wanted to kind of make clear when I was saying that to like Jez is like, yo, dude, I see where your sympathy lies. I get it, right? Like I get that like players on PlayStation do not deserve. No, you're good, Twan. Players on PlayStation do not deserve to have to go through losing a Spyro or a Crash or something like that. I get that sentiment, right?
Yeah.
Where was that same sentiment with Final Fantasy and stuff like that, though? There was none.
Well,
so
exactly.
So what I'm being told is this is not sentimental. This is business. And if we want to do this business game, if the one thing I don't want to continue to see Microsoft do is, like I just said, get punched and then say, oh, you know what? Like, we should have handled that better.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
And can I say real quick? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Go. I got something to add because you're right about that. I have something to add too. Sorry,
well, it's like, no, because this other squad or this, other member, angry member of the crew or, other business, to be specific, is continuously punching you in the mouth and saying, yo, dude, this is a fight. This is not a kick it. This is not a kickback. This is not a barbecue. We're not hanging out. Yeah. We are fighting. And Microsoft keeps saying, you know what? We're just trying to get along and whatnot. At what point do you see your opponent standing there saying, dude, I got the gun in your face. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to wait until they pull the trigger and then react? Because by that time, you running from a bullet. How do you do that?
Yeah. Like, Phil was just, to say real quick, when you were saying how, like, at Sony, with Final Fantasy and all those type of things, is everyone's like, well, those are timed exclusives. I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, okay, fine. You really want Microsoft using Microsoft money to time exclusive things? Because they could fucking smother almost every company out of the fucking world if they wanted to do it that way.
That's the thing. And
like, but I think you don't want that. Because I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want them to smother everyone out of the industry. But it's like, it's kind of odd where it's like, a lot of people are like, well, that's timed exclusive. It's different. Like, okay, yeah, you're right. And to a sense, you're right to a point. However, if Microsoft was this goes like kind of like you said, like we once talked about scorched earth and was just like, okay, we can't own COD. Well, now this shit's just timed exclusive. Who the fuck knows what they could do? Like, we don't really know. There's all types of things they could do just to fucking for blood, dude. and Ham, like you just said right there, what are you gonna do with like a gun in their face? Phil was just on a podcast today saying like, he said he feels like Sony's only way of staying strong is by making Xbox smaller. Like, I feel like that is him being like, okay, fuck you. and Microsoft's official react. This is my last thing. I'm so sorry. Then I'll shut the hell up.
You're good.
Microsoft's though.
And Microsoft's official response to the FTC suing them was like, we tried doing this the nice way or whatever.
Exactly.
Like, so it's like, I feel like they're kind of like, okay, we're gonna go fucking feral. So I don't know. I'm not here to just cheerlead fucking Microsoft. I'm not, but it's so fucking complicated. Everything is just so fucking complicated.
I
don't know.
It's funny, and to Ham's point of asking the question of, at what point do you realize the whole buddy thing doesn't work? I think this is the point where they realize the whole buddy thing doesn't work. I mean, I would, because again, also what Mike just said, the terminology they use, we tried to give peace a chance.
That's it.
That was the exact terminology
from
of Brad
Smith.
Yeah, he said we tried to give peace a chance. Now, does that mean that this deal is now going to go through because they'll just force it to go through? No, maybe the deal still collapses. But it's one of those things. now is the point. I feel like Microsoft has to make that decision. Okay, we wanted to do this whole thing. We wanted to be partners. We wanted to have fun. We wanted to be friends. We thought we could do that. You obviously are incapable of doing that. So, so fine. Then if you're gonna block this deal, if you successfully block this deal, good for you. But all bets are off. All bets are off.
They're throwing the gloves down.
Because it's what Mike said. Like, and I'm not cheering for them to do this. I just all I want is Microsoft to stick up for themselves. I don't want them to run anyone out of the industry. I think with PlayStation in the industry is better. That's a fact. With Nintendo
and I think that's why they don't want to play buddy with Microsoft, is because I think they're afraid of letting them get too strong while being buddy and swallow them. But now this might swallow them whole in a different way. Who knows, dude? I don't know. I fucking don't know.
I mean, the last thing you want to do is compete with Microsoft's wallet. That's the one thing you don't want.
Exactly.
No one can. You know. That's the thing, is they can't.
And with everyone in the industry is better, and Microsoft knows this. But at a certain point, it's like, okay, if we tried to do it the nice way and you still don't like it, so we tried to do the timed exclusive thing for Rise of Tomb Raider. We tested the waters. We tried to do that. You hated it. Yeah. We tried to do it this way. You hate it. Which one do you hate more?
Yeah,
because we're gonna do one of them. We're gonna do one of them.
Yeah.
So you got to decide, what do you hate more? Because we're going to do one of these things. We can do the timed exclusive stuff. We don't have to go to through regulators for that. We can do that if that's what you want to do. But we'd much rather you just let this deal pass so we can continue to be buddies and work on good terms. But at a certain point, like Cam said, you got to decide, okay, we're enemies. That's it.
The gloves are off.
So I'm hoping now is when they figure out it's not buddy anymore. It's your competition. You should be competing. I hope that's when they figure it out, is right now. But
man, we got to bring it back. We got to bring back those 90s commercials where it's like Sega does what Nintendo don't, you know, just trashing the other company. It's like, you know, we're better than them. Just like I miss those times, right?
Yeah, and and not even exactly, and not even to be like, not even to be like a console warrior, but it's like Xbox, when the companies are doing that, it's not console wars, it's just competing.
Yeah,
that's like, all it is.
Who can make the better product?
Exactly. You know? Like, I'm getting PlayStation no matter what. I prefer Xbox. I'd like them to compete. I'd like Xbox to stand up for themselves in some form or fashion, like at all. And at a certain point, they have to. But that's all I gotta say. And I really agree with what you guys said there, because I'm glad we got that topic out of the way up top at the top of the show, because that's just that's a fucking topic all by itself. But does anyone else have anything to add to that before we move on?
Because the thing about
my point is not even actually about it itself. Right. It's just to say people need to stop making this deal their personality and their life.
100%. 100%.
And their whole identity. It's fucking disgusting. Stop.
Yeah.
Do something with your life. All right, that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that.
There's another thing I also want to bring up with how the whole, you know, Spyro and Crash being a Sony legacy thing, right? And, you know, they can't take those games off, right? But at the same time, you see Sony, you know, have the Knights of the Old Republic remake, and that was originally only on Xbox for like the longest time, you know? So it's like, you know, it's like that's technically a legacy Xbox.
Also
title,
timed exclusive. You know? That's once again the whole timed exclusive thing. Which do we want? Does the industry actually want Microsoft to go back to time exclusive dealing absolutely fucking everything? And I've already went over that horse. I'm not going to beat it anymore. That poor thing's a fucking pile of mush. So I'm out.
And another thing too is I feel like a lot of people use that. I think there's a line that Microsoft said a while ago, back when they were acquiring Bethesda. They said, oh, we want people to experience this no matter what screen you're using, on anything. But like at the same time, they never specifically said PlayStation, right? They could say phones, consoles,
your
PC.
your
That's
TV, your PC,
right?
your phone.
Yeah, right. Your console. They never specifically said consoles. So they said,
Yeah, they didn't say no matter what console you're on. They said your screens, your TV, your PC, your phone.
But yeah, so like technically they try to use that as like a gotcha moment, but technically it's not really, because it never specifically said, right? So
it is definitely not
all about that verbiage.
Yeah.
But to keep this whole Xbox theme going, we've got news earlier in the week, before the FTC blocking this deal, that everyone kind of seemed to have forgotten about at this point, and that is the fact that Xbox has officially announced they're moving to $70 price tag for their games, starting in 2023 with the likes of Redfall, Starfield, Forza Motorsport, and whatever other shit they're releasing next year. I don't even know.
And that's also going to lead into another thing. What the fuck are you releasing? All right, okay. So that'll lead into our next topic later.
That's actually something we could talk about later, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bring something about that up right now, actually.
Okay.
Because fuck it.
Sure.
Yo, so you announced earlier in the week that your games are going to $70.
Yep.
A showcase happens. We still don't even know what that game is. That's $70. What's $70? Like, how are you gonna say, oh man, our games are $70, but have nothing to show? Like, I feel like you could have just, because a lot of us have kind of figured at some point, games were going to be going to $70.
Yeah.
But what a lackluster announcement just to say, hey, you guys,
you have
just
to
checking in today to let you know that we're raising the prices. Have a good night, y'all. Nothing to show. Nothing to show. Nothing to talk about. No release date. No nothing.
And that's a topic.
Games.
That's a topic later too.
Because like you want to, like you have a thing like that. Like, well, we're gonna start charging you more, but you need good news to kind
imagine
of
a new fucking Starfield trailer dropped like an hour later or something, or
I don't know,
to be like, this is what your money's gonna buy you.
Yeah,
like, do I just talk about this? I want to talk how it just jumps into the VGAs and how they did literally nothing.
Well, yeah,
I saw Phil Spencer's face more than I did Xbox and any logoing in that whole fucking trailers, dude. They cut to his face more than I think Xbox was mentioned in that fucking entire show. That's all I'm going to say before we get to there. But yeah, $70 is what it is. I'm hoping that Microsoft still stays $60 on PC. I mean, I know some games are 70, but some still remain 60. It's kind of the PC market is kind of like.
We'll just pirate your game.
Yeah, exactly. and we will. I try not to though, but like I'm just hoping that, the excuses of, oh, this is a passion project need to fucking stop. I'm done with that. I'm tired of I understand if it's a little game, the passion. Let's make this shit worth $70. Starfield cannot launch in this disastrous buggy. It's gonna be buggy. It's
gonna be buggy.
But it can't be fucking catastrophic.
Yeah.
That's
like
all.
a part of me starting to think that Microsoft delayed Starfield just so they could charge the game for $70. Because if it came up this year, it would have been 60.
Well, maybe, but also we saw the gameplay. It looks good, but there's some frame pacing issues in that demo. That game needed delayed. I also wonder if Xbox, if they weren't under Xbox, would Bethesda have just said fuck it and put it out?
That's a really good question.
Because part of me thinks that they probably would have, because just to hit that 11/22/22 date, part of me thinks they would have just threw that out and fixed it with patches.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're in the situation we're in now. It's delayed to who knows when. We don't have a release date. You would assume maybe around the same time. I mean, people are saying, I know Rand thinks it's like before June. I don't see that being the thing, but he knows more than I do, so he's probably right. But it's like, I think that would be more around November 22nd.
Oh,
like
so you think it's gonna be a whole year delay?
Yeah, and I would think so. Why not?
Yeah.
If it's gonna be like
well, that
6,
was basically
7,
Halo, right? That was
yeah,
Halo
if it's gonna be 6, 7, 8 months, then why not make it a full year and get your fucking money's worth on the delay?
Yeah.
So, and at which point I wouldn't be mad if you made it a full year. Whatever, take your time. But yeah.
Right, well, before you continue, I just want to say Sonic Andres in the chat says Xbox needed a compliment sandwich if they were going to discuss $70 price titles.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I understand what he's saying. Yeah, you need to compliment it with something. You can't
you can't just say like $70 and just people be like, what the hell?
Here's another Game Pass ad.
Because at least at least have a game. At least have a game. Be like, oh, okay, now I'm kind of excited. Like try to subside it. That's what I said earlier, right? Just don't make it like, okay, here's some shit news and there's no good news to accompany that.
Like, see the difference between like one company saying, you know what, like with PlayStation, or like let's say Nintendo comes out and says, you know what, we're raising $5 on all of our games.
Mm-hmm.
We have some release dates on some of these games that are coming. So we can assume that these next games coming from Nintendo that are developed and made by Nintendo are going to be at this price. We know games that are coming for Xbox, but it's kind of weird to think that, this game that was supposed to come out this year was gonna be $60.
Yeah.
But now it's $70.
Just because it came out the next year.
Just because you delayed it.
Yeah.
And now you're just saying, there's a price raise, but there's still no date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For anything. So it's just like, where the price like I'm still waiting, I guess, for an explanation on what 70 means.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when things are more digital now than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're not buying big Neo Geo cartridges, It's like we're not, because
we're buying something we can't touch for the most part.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like the problem is everybody's doing, like we just talked about how, okay, you went on $70 games, but you didn't complement it with anything.
Mm-hmm.
My whole line of thinking with this is that their marketing is so fucked, it's so utterly and completely fucked, that them giving out a Game Pass ad was their way of complimenting it, was their way of going like, yeah, our games are $70, or here's this thing for next year when all those $70 games come out.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Game Pass. Here's that.
Yeah.
That's what, like, I would hope that's not what their thinking is, but part of me also goes, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that's how they came to that conclusion, to have those ads there and to time that announcement before the Game Awards when they know they have no actual trailer there besides, here's Game Pass ads.
Yeah.
It's like here's we got $70 games, you can buy them $70 each, or here's a Game Pass ad, you can just get Game Pass.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's cool, advertise Game Pass, whatever the fuck, I don't care, but show me a trailer for something, anything. All I wanted going into that was a trailer for Redfall and a release date, because by all accounts, according to all the rumors going around, it releases in March. So something, anything, like, I don't know. It's just disappointing. And I get the whole $70 games thing. I knew it was coming. I made a video like the week before saying, I bet it happens before 2024. And lo and behold, it's happening in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's your fault this is happening. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So like, everyone knew it was happening, but dude, you did nothing to make that pill easier to swallow.
Yeah.
You did absolutely nothing.
And even like the way they discussed it was kind of like BS, I could see, because they're saying like, oh, because they had a little like, blog, I think, about it. And I read it, and they said something about like, oh, it's like, more technically advanced games, they cost more to make, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, we all knew Starfield was going to be a $60 game. Like we knew that. Like it was supposed to release this year, and we already knew that game was like pretty much planned for $60. But now it feels like the game's just $70 just because it's releasing next year. It doesn't really feel like because it's a next gen thing. It just feels like okay, it's just 2023 price inflation. That's all it feels like to me.
Yeah.
Well,
you know.
Well, I always also, and not, I don't even know if this is pushback on that, but I always was of the opinion that Starfield would be their first $70 game, whether it released this year or next year. I felt like that would have been. I'm actually surprised it's probably going to end up being Redfall.
Yeah.
Because by all accounts, you would think that's the one that comes out first, but we'll see. But I was always under the.
Think so.
Yeah, I was always under the impression they're going $70 and Starfield's going to be the first. And that could happen this year or next year. I really don't care. I'm just mad that they said, hey, it's $70 and then didn't give us any like reinforcement of what that $70 is going towards. They gave us like nothing.
But did they never confirm the price for that game beforehand? Like they never there's no like pre-order or anything for $60 now.
I mean, there was sites that had like pictures up and stuff, but it was all speculated. Nothing ever came out of Microsoft or Bethesda that it was what price it was going to be.
Yeah, that's probably for the best, honestly.
I'd be surprised if Redfall came after Valentine's Day.
I hope.
Would you be surprised?
I'd be surprised if it came after Valentine's Day.
I hope. I mean, the sooner we get this game, the happier I am.
I mean, because I just, I'm just kind of thinking of it from like setting a tone and time period kind of launch window. I'm not like because when I see something like Forza, like the new Forza that's supposed to come out, to me that says more or less like mid-spring, early summer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that kind of game says to me. Redfall feels like something that should either happen either around Valentine's Day or
Valentine's Day.
It just feels like that. It just feels like that. Definitely doesn't feel like a St. Patrick's time a game.
No.
And I don't know. It just did. It just does for some reason. Because the two holidays that make me think of Redfall at all would either be Valentine's or Halloween.
Yeah,
Halloween's easy, but that's on the opposite end of the year, and I just don't see Redfall coming out that late in the year.
Yeah, that's true.
If it came out that late in the year, they'd have to have some other games that have dropped already, and I mean not like 2, I mean like 3 or 4 other games that should have dropped by then, because to me, y'all said this is within the year, right? So that October thing is out of the question.
Yeah.
Same with Starfield, but I wouldn't be surprised if Starfield got pushed to a holiday game.
Yeah.
That's one game. That's the only game that I actually think that I like no matter what they kind of say, I just don't trust it until it's like a week from.
Like the pre-orders are up. They say it's gone gold. And all that
pre-orders are out. Like embargoes are up.
Yeah, like, people are in the middle of playing it.
Absolutely.
Because they got review copies.
Yeah. So yeah, they got some stuff to prove before I believe them about Starfield. I'll believe them about Redfall. I've seen plenty of Redfall gameplay.
Yeah.
It's the whole Starfield thing that I don't believe. It's the Avowed that I don't believe. It's the Hellblade that I just don't believe is
we didn't even get Hellblade like at the Game Awards. I thought that was
we got nothing at the Game Awards except like party animals and Replaced.
And even then, that's not even Xbox like presence per se.
Yeah.
I don't know if that
It's
might
just Game Pass
maybe.
presence.
That's exclusive in a
Yeah,
way,
true.
yeah, but it's not. Yeah, it's not first party.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just, dude, they gotta fucking realize that, like, get your shit together. I don't care if it's the FTC shit. Like, you gotta do something. The fact we didn't see Redfall blows my mind the most.
Yeah. And
no, I thought Hellblade was like confirmed to be show up there because like I feel like Hellblade always shows up at the Game Awards.
Hellblade always shows up at the Game Awards. It's shocking that wasn't there. But since we're kind of blending these two topics right now, we're talking kind of about the $70 games and also kind of about the Xbox no show at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
So I wanted to throw this out there because Rand said this, and I kind of had the thought, but I don't. He knows more behind the scenes stuff than I do. I don't know anything, but it's like he was suggesting on the Xbox 2 show that the only reason you would ever show absolutely nothing at the biggest show of the year is if you had something planned very, very soon after.
Right.
And I'm sat here thinking like, yeah, like if you don't have something planned for January or February and you showed nothing at the Game Awards, then something's wrong. Especially if you consider if we're to believe that Redfall's due out by February or March, and you don't have something to showcase that before it launches, then something's very, very wrong. Your marketing is all fucked up. I mean, it is fucked up, but it's fucked up way beyond what we ever thought.
Beyond belief.
Yeah. So like, I'm kind of with Rand. Well, not kind of. I'm fully on board with Rand, and that if you don't show anything here on the biggest stage of the year, then surely there's a reason for it.
And I don't have their own showcase or something.
Yeah, and I don't think that reason is like the excuse that was going around was, oh, they don't want to like
the
mess
FTC
like
or whatever.
Yeah, the FTC. They don't want like regulators to look at them and be like, oh, look at all the stuff you got. It's like, I don't believe in that. Like, I get that people are using it as an excuse. I don't believe in that excuse. Because it's like, we knew about Starfield, we knew about Redfall, we knew about Forza, we know about the things they're doing next year. They told us this last year. Whether
just let us know what we already know.
Yeah, like we already know about this stuff. So if they want to show it, that's not going to affect like a regulator's, or it shouldn't affect a regulator's decision on whether or not this deal should go through.
Yeah,
so,
if we go past this, to say real quick, man. I'm sorry, you can finish your thought.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
Like, if we go like past like February without anything, something is really, really wrong. And the fact that I'm even saying this is fucking insane to me. The fact they had nothing for the Game Awards.
Like,
the fact they didn't have anything
possible.
Yeah.
It's like it's the fact we didn't see anything at the Game Awards. The fact they're not doing that whole Microsoft December, like, the XO thing. It's once again another giant question mark. Wait till E3, dude. I've been hearing wait till E3 for way too fucking long at this point. I'm gonna fucking snap if I hear one more person say wait till E3, because they have enough games that have been in development now for years. Years. There's enough to show something.
I'm still waiting.
I'm not saying you got to show me. I'm not saying you got to show me Fable. I'm not saying you got to show me Everwild, or if even fucking Project. What the hell's that other game? Perfect Dark. Thank you. At least I could see fucking Redfall that's been in development for a while, and Starfield, or maybe Forza. Anything that like show me that you guys are doing something. I feel like that's not a big ask.
Yeah.
I feel like I understand maybe if I was asking for a new game, and even though I feel like that shouldn't even be a big fucking ask. It's like, we just want signs of life. I saw Phil Spencer's face there more than anything else than fucking Xbox related. It kept fucking cutting to him.
What would really worry me, I don't even know if worry is the right word as much as it would actually upset me, is if we got to February and we didn't have a showcase, and then it was announced Redfall is coming out in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like, like, because at that point, then it's a problem. Like, okay, you got the games covered, fine, but at that point, it's a problem of it's a full-on problem of marketing.
Yeah, it's a marketing
because if
issue.
you come up on that Redfall release date and you haven't shown anything between now and that date, and then you just drop, hey, it's dropping in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, then what the fuck?
Yep.
There's got to be like a hype build up, you know, like
that generates no hype, and it does nothing for anybody because I said this in so many conversations. I talked to Ham about this. Me and Ham were in a party with Infinite Umber. We talked about this. All of us are plugged into what Xbox, to what Sony, to what Nintendo, all of us are plugged into what these companies are doing. So if Xbox gets on Twitter and says, here's the release date for Redfall, we're all on top of it. We're not the audience that needs that. We aren't the audience that needs that. It's the audience at the Game Awards that needs that.
Right.
So that's what upsets me is like, yeah, maybe they got a show plan for January. Fantastic. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see it. But what the fuck? Like, show it to the audience that needs to see it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the Game Awards.
They're not following these people on Twitter. You know, they're kind of just doing them own
exactly.
Thing. Some of them are casuals. You know, it's like,
and most people don't even watch the Game Awards.
That's
like
that's true.
You only like the only way word spreads from the Game Awards outside the hardcore is like, oh, someone told somebody about this, and then they heard it in conversation, like, oh, what's like, but at least it generates more talk outside of just the general Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo community. It's like there has to be some type of generation of hype outside of us.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's
not enough.
Enough. Microsoft did such a good job, like such a fucking amazing job from the original Xbox to the end of the 360. Even the beginning of the Xbox One, as terrible as that launch was, they did a fucking great job with marketing, and as good as a job as they could have with the Xbox One. But I don't know, it's like it just fell off a cliff. It's like it just fell off of a cliff. And they're primed to have the best year that they've ever had next year, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Where are you guys at?
Born Distracted in the chat says still no gameplay footage of Starfield, which there was some footage there, but it was through the
game dude walking for 1 second.
The Game Pass app, or not. I mean the Game Pass ad that was on there repeatedly 3 different times, each time making me think that they're about to show something.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Inferno in the chat says they have to have something in January or February in regards to
fingers crossed, man.
Yeah, having like a showcase or something.
They need
and I think they will. I think they're gonna have like an EXO kind of thing. But
yeah.
I really like what you guys said, because like, you know, there's levels to the way that people take in information, right? So I was actually talking to like Loke and like K Mega and all these people about this stuff just the other day, and it's just like, yo, like E3, whether you love it or hate it, E3 is still like the biggest name when it comes to showing off games and stuff like that. So that's like your FIFA. That's your FIFA World Cup right there, is E3 every year. Your next best thing that gets all that attention, Super Bowl, right? That was the Game Awards. Super Bowl is the Game Awards. Everybody remembers those commercials during the Super Bowl. That was the Super Bowl right there, the Game Awards. And XO from Xbox
like a playing
isn't
game.
On the same level, right? It's like it's literally it's I mean,
the thing is,
when it comes to that, it's like indie versus big dev, right? Like Xbox is pretty much indie in that category when they're saying, yo, we're going to do this for our fans. Well, you know what? That's great. And the fans, I mean, including myself, I appreciate it and I'll be there. Sure.
Yep.
100%. But if you're trying to convince old boy down the street that only plays PlayStation, You missed that last week.
Yeah.
Yep.
You missed that last week because his face was glued looking for PlayStation stuff, and that was a good time for you to bring up Xbox.
Yeah, 100%.
A great time. Like the best time.
And just to say real quick, if they're going to make this an XO event or whatever, they need to restructure it from the ground up completely. Like, and because I don't think an XO event would be good enough to show what they should be showing. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't like, 2017, 16, 15, 16, 17, 18, or 19 Microsoft anymore. This is 2022 Microsoft. They have enough studios making games. They have enough things to show. It can't just be like, oh, you can come see Phil Spencer. It's like, that's great. Okay, great. Wonderful. I'm happy I can go see Phil. But it's like, show me fucking Starfield. Show me Redfall. Show me shit I should be getting excited about. Give me maybe a teaser of some other Bethesda's next game or, ZeniMax next game. It can't just be like how XO has always been. They need to make it like how a PlayStation State of Play and Nintendo Direct is. They need to get it to that level. If they're going to start doing this of, skipping events, they need to make their own event the same level as Nintendo's and Sony's.
I agree. And one last thing Mr. Inferno said in the chat that I just wanted to bring up, which I like what he said. He said 6 months to release everything shown at E3 2022. That's what they got now. That's what they got now. And it's just wild.
Exactly.
And that drives onto the point of how wild it is to not show anything at all at this conference, because it's just like, dude, you have half the time that you had before. And we still don't know release dates of like 60 to 80% of the stuff that you talked about.
What the fuck is Avowed?
Well, that wasn't there, so
no,
that would
I know,
be
but
fair.
no, but like it's just the fact that like I feel like once again it goes to the whole thing of like I swear to God Microsoft announces shit like things just falling out their ass and then we don't hear about it for 7 years. It's a whole like running ball issue. It's not even just. But like once again, the game's coming out in 2023. But I'm just saying it's kind of like an issue with Microsoft as a whole. Is like they kind of just fucking wing it, and like their advertising, quote unquote, advertisement is winging it. Their launch schedule is winging it. It's getting fucking exhausting.
And what's his? Oh, actually, I'll bring that up during the takes part because I think that's absolutely hilarious. But it has a lot to do with Aaron Greenberg and what he said, and whatnot. Because because he came back and I mean, talk about reading the room. He knew what the fuck was going on, right? And I can only imagine how it felt to be like Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer, everybody knowing that you're there. But you ain't got nothing there to really show anybody other than the commercial that everybody's already seen. And sure, maybe the commercial was refreshed and maybe it was a little dolled up than before, but I mean, I get it. I get it. It's a Game Pass commercial. Game Pass commercial is a Game Pass commercial. I don't get excited when I see a Game Pass commercial. I don't think a lot of people get excited when they see a Game Pass commercial.
Especially when you already have Game Pass,
Exactly. Like, dude, I'm already subscribed to it. What are you showing me?
This is old news to me, It's like,
Exactly. So, I mean, like, and this kind of goes to the argument I was saying a few weeks back on, I think, this podcast and maybe a few others. I don't know. I'm always podcasting on stuff, so I don't remember where I say it half the time anymore. But like, I need, instead of all this Game Pass stuff all the time, I need Xbox to focus more on games at a time instead of mass games in a compilation in the commercial, and it's just vomited in my face. Like, I agree like I see somebody running by a tree and then somebody fighting a robot and then somebody rolling in the sand and then somebody shooting a grunt. And it's just like,
you see a Forza car,
20. I mean, you're showing me the quantity, but can I learn anything about any of the games?
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see more of that.
Teabagging a warthog driven by the fucking dude from Gears of War. I don't know. It's fucking. It's all over the place, dude. You're right.
I just want to see a little bit more passion out of the marketing, I guess, for some of these titles that they swear to hold at such a high regard. I want to see that you care enough to like. I mean, it doesn't have to be a 45-minute conversation with the developer. It can be a 2-minute and 20-second, Twitter only lets you take that long of a video. I know if you're actually a big company like Microsoft, you can make a longer one and stuff like that. But like, dude, like just give me like 2 minutes of just something, one thing.
Yeah.
And why it's awesome and why I should try this game.
And here's the thing. To that point, they were doing it. They were doing it so well with Starfield earlier in the year. They were doing it so well. Like if every month, it felt like they had developer behind the scenes, developer insight. What's the music like? Like what's the world gonna like? They had all sorts of videos coming out. It felt like every 2 weeks, and then the delay happened, and it's just like they stopped. It's like, well, you didn't stop working on the game. Why did you stop telling us what's going on? Like, especially for a game like Starfield, like that has the potential. Like Bethesda are like one of the greatest game developers of all time. Give Starfield a little bit of attention, just a little bit. Redfall, Arcane makes critically acclaimed games. Give them a little bit of attention.
Like even going back to what Mike said, it almost feels like they're kind of winging it, right? Like they had all this shit they're showing for Starfield, right? And they delayed it. It's like, oh, I guess you ran out of things to show.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, you didn't. You just stopped showing it for some reason. Like, show us. Like, it's interesting to see at the very least. I don't care if the game comes out in fucking 2025. Show us what you're doing. It's interesting. Like, it's cool to see that stuff. It's cool to be able to engage. It's cool to have like. It's cool when stuff like that happens, or when they show you like footage of the game. Oh, something's broken in the game. We're working on it to fix it, but here's what it looks like now. Stuff like that's awesome to see because it shows progress. But we're just getting none of it. It's like,
and it's kind of sad. The most information we've got on Starfield, Elder Scrolls as a whole, is just some dude interviewing Todd Howard randomly. You know what I'm saying? I think I've gotten more information on Starfield through that video than almost anything.
Yeah. And if you guys can't do it, then do stuff like that. Honestly.
To me, that right there, like Mike nailed it right there. That right there is weird to me. And it's always been weird to me that third-party sources can advertise products and make them sound more interesting than what you do, than like your whole business can do. Like this dude had a 3-hour interview with this other guy. 3-hour interview.
Yep.
Is there not one person working at Microsoft that's interested enough to ask these types of questions to somebody? Hire me. I interview people all the time. I have no problem with not asking certain questions, with asking some tough questions, but giving you a way to kind of meander your way out. Sure. I do interviews all the time. I don't understand how it took somebody that has nothing to do with Microsoft to yank information out that we've been dying to hear. That just that blows my mind. But in the same breath, Microsoft will tell you how community driven they are. And it just drives me up the wall because it's just like, you guys are very community driven. You're right. You are. And you guys are very positive. And do I like it? For the most part, I do. Sometimes it's a little overbearing. But it's just like, dude, if you guys are so community driven, why is the community always starving?
Good point.
Like, why don't you show the compassion that you claim to have? Just it confuses me. It confuses me because it's just like it's just like it's like they only read the room at a degree, and then they just get a bunch of hot air in them. They get excited, and then they don't think they have to do anything.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's just it's just such a weird imbalance, and it's oddly predictable and still mind-blowing at the same time. Somehow it's predictable and mind-blowing. I don't know how to make that make sense, but that's just what it is.
Not only that, but this was a 3-hour interview we're talking about. You know, and unless someone is like really interested in Starfield, they're not going to watch that. It's a 3-hour interview. So that type of information should be in just the advertising alone, right? Like you could do this, you could do that. Instead of a guy sitting through a 3-hour interview that might be interested in the game. But let's be honest, if he's kind of on the fence about it, he's not going to watch a 3-hour interview. He's going to only people that are extremely interested in that game are going to watch that interview.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
And exactly, and that's why it's so. What Ham said, it's predictable, but it's still so baffling. You guys were doing it. You guys were already doing it, and then it's like you delayed it, and then you just decided to stop. It's like why? Like you're still making it. Like show us the stuff, but I don't know. Just you talk about that forever. Honestly, it's Xbox's marketing is just a problem at this point that needs like sorely fixed.
Some tweaking,
like a lot of tweaking, but that there's nothing we can do about that, honestly. So we can move on to some good news, some fun news, some great stuff, and that is the TGA reveals, the Game Award reveals. What was revealed? I mean, I'm going to start with you, Mike, at the show that has you very interested
right now.
I already know what you're looking forward to.
Doom Eternal 2. No.
Yep.
Space Marine 2 and Returnal.
Space Marine 2 looks pretty damn good. I can't lie.
If that gameplay trailer was fucking insane, and like that visually, gameplay wise, it looked just fucking nuts.
I cannot wait for that.
Also, Judas.
That's the easy one. Yeah,
that looks Judas insane. Like, I still don't even know.
He's like the best game that they showed at that conference.
Also, there's Jedi Star Wars game.
Jedi Survivor.
That's it.
Yep.
That looks really fun. But Returnal in particular and Space Marine 2 looked really, really fun because I enjoyed my time with Returnal. I just kind of waited because I wanted to wait until I had paddles for it, and that just kind of kept falling to the wayside over and over and over and over and over again. So, yeah, I'm super excited to play it.
I'm actually pretty interested to pick up Returnal on PC as well. It's also interesting to see the recommended specs for that. Recommended 32 gigabytes.
Wait a minute. Is there recommended specs out?
Yeah. GPU is pretty modest. I can't remember what it is, but it's relatively modest. But it's just interesting to see the GPU be so modest, and it's like you're gonna want 32 gigabytes of RAM. I thought that was pretty funny. But
wow, an RTX 2070, dude. I'm gonna get some good frames on this game, bitch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
It makes sense. It makes sense why you need a lot of RAM for that game. Especially if you don't have an SSD, right? Because like the thing's loading quickly. Like it's because it's always generated the map, right? The moment you open the door, a whole thing gets generated like instantly. So because it's all generated, right? So it was probably made with the SSD in mind with the PS5. It was one of those games. So,
are we talking about RAM or
Returnal RAM.
No, I know, but you're talking about storage. I don't know, whatever. Never mind. I don't care. Continue.
Because like I said, you need a lot of RAM. It said right for a Returnal. I'm pretty sure it's
32 gigabytes of RAM. It says.
Yeah, like that's a lot, right? So they probably have to make it so we have to make sure this runs on a hard drive. So like, essentially, you're gonna be playing the game, and the whole map's gonna have to load in advance, just so it could come out quickly. You know, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Instead of it coming out like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys think the same thing, but that's how the way I look at it.
You're just hurting their feelings, Twan. It's okay, bud.
Like, you guys are kind of looking like
I'm eating snacks right now.
I gotta be honest with you. The look on my face was I lost the cops, and then they saw me again at the last second, and I'm a little upset about that. But I mean, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I'm just trying to look at it in a technical standpoint. You know?
said the power of the PS5, and he got confused.
How much RAM is in the fucking PS5? Like,
it's not about the RAM. It's about how the game's
64
running on the SSD, right?
Yeah, it's 128 gigabytes.
That game's gonna run on a hard drive. It's not the RAM. It's not.
That's why. That's
gonna
why
ram it down your throat, bud.
That's why I'm kind of on the fence with what you're saying is because it's gonna run on a hard drive. It's also gonna run on 16 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
So it's like. I just
runs on a Hemi engine.
Yeah, you just put a fucking generator in your PC.
It's a 2500 in that RAM. You know what I'm saying?
Just make sure your motherboard's gassed up.
Man, it's on that gas, bro.
I'm really curious how they're gonna make the game work with an Xbox controller. Like, are you gonna have to do a half press to try to get?
I hope they. I can't wait to play that game normally. That was my one. It was kind of cool at first, but I'm like, I have to fucking half press something. I gotta just fucking be normal. Get that. Make it work.
No PS5 gimmicks.
Yeah, like I'm not even saying they're getting sometimes they're cool, but I'm like, I want to be super fast and responsive. Let me be super fast and responsive.
Yeah, there's times where I tried to I wanted to aim, but then accidentally did the full press, and I'm
and you fucking just you fucking shoot off some
grenade launcher or something.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
it'll be interesting. It would be very interesting to see how they actually make those changes, because I'm not even sure this control has enough buttons for that. Like, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe click on the joystick or something.
I mean, maybe the shoot button will just shoot the gun.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know how to half press it to do some type of a weird burst fire mode.
Maybe you just press it once like a normal human. I don't know. But
we'll see.
So funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man, I'm looking at this gameplay that's
of what
on that's coming in through the feed right now, and I kind of miss this game. I haven't seen it for a while, but I threw it back up.
What game is it?
Wolong.
I was actually, dude, I was looking at gameplay. I still have the 59 minutes worth of gameplay from me and you playing that co-op thing, and I was actually watching some of that the other day. Yeah, I'm hyped for that game. Does that have a release date? Is that March?
I thought it was. I thought it was something like March or something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know it is on the earlier end of the year. But yeah, game is fantastic. Campaign co-op is available in it. Me and Matt ran through that joint. It was so much fun. Very Souls-like type of game, but a little bit more forgiving, I'd say.
Yeah, I felt like it. Definitely felt like it.
But just because it's a little more forgiving doesn't mean it's sweet now. You mess around you mess around and lose everything still in a game like that. So just keep that in mind. But it's a fantastic game, and I can't wait to get back into that co-op, because I was having a good time playing it solo. But yeah, co-op is just it's just a lot better. It just really is.
Mm-hmm. I still need to try that out. It was on like Game Pass. It was like a demo or something, right?
Well, it was just a demo for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it will be on. But it's coming day one. I know it is a Game Pass.
I know it is a Game Pass game though. I know they got a deal going on there. So yeah, we'll see. When's that supposed to come out? It's supposed to come out soon now, right?
That's what we were just talking
early
about.
In the year.
Jesus, Louis.
Early in the year. Okay. I'm kind of like spacing a little bit.
You ain't lying.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I'm fucking falling asleep.
One's on a different planet.
No, I know you guys are talking about Wulong, and I was kind of thinking about other things in my mind, and then probably just missed that part.
Well, since you're talking, Tuan, what did you see at the Game Awards that has you?
Something I was very interested in seeing. The one that kind of surprised me a little bit was that Bayonetta game. That whole Bayonetta.
Did you enjoy it?
It was average. Honestly, I kind of wish I didn't watch it just because I could have been playing a game that entire time.
No, I'm talking about the Bayonetta game.
Yeah.
Oh, like the one that came out, like Bayonetta 3?
No, like the game they showed, the Bayonetta game they showed.
I didn't play it.
The thing you're talking about. So did you enjoy what you seen?
Yeah,
Jesus.
Like, I don't know. I looked at it, I was like, it's not the game I'd be immediately interested in, but I gotta really try it to really I need to get a feel for it,
One's like, I can't form an opinion.
Yeah,
One's like, it's a day one purchase that I'm not sure that I enjoy.
Exactly.
See, there we go. Nailed it.
But I don't know, because I'm definitely gonna want to try it out, right? Because I played all the other games, so yeah, we'll see. Like, I'm not like completely sold on the idea. Like, I'd obviously prefer how the original games are, right? But I don't know. Well, I'm gonna try it out. Who knows? Might be good. It might be bad. We'll see. But I'm not.
That shit looked like Tiny Tina's version of Bayonetta.
I'm not like, whoa, I'm so excited for this game. I'm like, I might play it when it comes out. I'm more like kind of a lot more chill about it, if that makes sense. But
I'll tell you, Tiny Tina's has made me a lot more cautious of spin-offs of things.
Exactly.
It's made me look at things, because I saw Tiny Tina's and I was like, oh, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
And then I played it and I'm just like,
ugh. Yeah.
I think Tiny Tina's and Callisto did that to me.
Yeah.
Well, Callisto,
because
I still enjoy
Callisto.
Yeah.
Callisto was like, at least I had more fun in that night with Tiny Tina's. I'll give them that. And it looked amazing. Game looked amazing, but like, it's just that like I spent about $70 for Tiny Tina's, but I spent some Microsoft points to get the $100 version of it.
There you go.
And I don't like that game, so I have the season pass to a game I'll never play.
Let's go.
Great. And then let's see. And then this Callisto Protocol game, which I had a good time and I'm happy I beat it, but it's just like I had a feeling it was going to be like Dead Space. It felt like Dead Space, but heavier with less, like, I don't know. It just felt it felt stiffer. It felt harder to really dodge and kind of get out of its own way. So like what it ended up teaching me, I guess, is that like, spin-offs or games that really looked similar to another game, I need to maybe kind of pause on, because if a game looks similar to another game, it's not being original. And when it's not being original, it's probably going to get compared to death, and I'm probably not going to enjoy it as much as I could, because all I'm doing is thinking about the other game.
Yeah. For me with Callisto, I remember we had a conversation a week or two before that game released, and I said that it reminds me very much, and this isn't going to make sense when I say it immediately, but I said it reminds me of Uncharted 2, where in the advertisement, they were showing me things that I was just like, dude, there's no way. I don't believe it. But then with Uncharted 2, I played it and I was like, oh yeah, 100%. They were right.
Mm-hmm.
But with Callisto, I was like, they almost got it. Like I see what they were showing, and it wasn't technically a lie.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a lie. It was just not as good. It was just shown at its best case scenario. And the trailers. Whereas in the game, sometimes it happened like that, but most of the time it didn't happen like that.
Well, to be fair, you played the Xbox version too, right?
I did play the Xbox version with VRR, thankfully, because the Xbox is a real console. But
oh my god.
But yeah. So fun game, not worth $70, but we've already reiterated this multiple times. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. I was gonna weigh in on Bayonetta there, and I was like, why am I gonna do that? Why am I gonna do that? But yeah. But yeah, was there anything else, Twan?
Let's see. Like when I think of obviously yeah, Bayonetta, that was the one that probably spoke out to me the most. Because I don't know, I guess I'm just a weeb, I guess. But
God damn right you are.
I mean, you definitely are.
Yeah.
But
that fuck, what was that game called again? That BioShock one. Judas, that one.
Juno.
That one looks that that game looks great.
Really?
I'm actually really looking forward to that one. So there was definitely good games shown there. It was just I don't know, there's just something about that show that I just kind of got bored.
I know exactly what it was, but we already talked about that. So Ham, what did you see at the Game Awards that had you very interested?
Halo Infinite.
What I see at the game, okay, that was really interesting.
Yep.
Let's see. I'd have to give it to Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor was probably
that was pretty cool too.
It was probably the most interesting one to me, just because I really enjoyed the previous one. It looked like you were kind of going from where you left off with the equipment that you have, and you learn even more stuff and get stronger. So that looked really cool. I'm not sure. I'm really wondering what the graphical side of it's gonna seem like, if it's gonna be like a massive jump or not, because it didn't feel like the biggest of jumps that I've ever seen. Shout out to
I don't think it will be.
Shout out to Lord Sovereign for kind of reminding me of that. I was watching the Iron Lords podcast today, and I was like, you know what? He's seen that, and he kind of made me think a little bit. And I was like, he's kind of right. It wasn't the biggest graphical, fidelity jump that I've ever seen, but the gameplay looks phenomenal. And after Elden Ring winning, and my good time of playing that, I need to really kind of dial back, especially with, like I just got done saying, we just beat Callisto Protocol. That was probably the best looking game that I've played this last year. But gameplay wise, it was not even the top 20.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it is the best looking game, but not top 20 in best games that I've played this year. I won't give it that. I just can't. I played too many other good games.
Fair.
So with that being said, I'm really looking forward to Jedi Survivor. Armored Core looked really interesting. I seen that Xbox One PS4 really on the end. That was a little interesting too.
Like that could be really cool, but we just don't really know anything other than a CGI trailer. It's
right?
Like,
and
more about that.
And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you real quick, Matt. I mean, other than like Atomic Heart and like Replace, and there's like a handful of other games. A lot of those games shown were CGI trailers.
Yeah, I was very disappointed. I think that was the boring part with that show I was trying to think about. It was like something about it was boring.
I remember me and Twan specifically during the show, we were like, dude, like, not only is this like kind of tiring because I didn't see anything from Xbox and I'm a little disappointed by that, but it's also tiring because I'm seeing a lot of titles, but I don't even know what I'm really seeing.
Yeah, it's like
I'm just seeing a lot of stories. Yeah. I'm seeing the beginning and sparks and ideas of stories, and on some of them, I'm just seeing titles.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. I'm not even seeing like really anything. It's just telling me that hey, we're working on a game.
Yeah.
And to me, I have like 60 games like
I know,
going
right?
on in my head, like that's being worked on, that's being worked on. I mean,
Yeah.
this just is another like, you know, it's essentially
Game to put
just
on the
grabbing another
list.
piece of paper
Yeah.
and just tossing it on top of the pile. This is on
Yeah.
this is being worked on too, I fucking guess. That's great, but
When
like
there's that other game, I forgot
no
what it
gameplay.
was. There's the other game where like, oh, we're gonna get gameplay, and when it starts to get into the gameplay, it just stops. I'm like, come on, we almost got gameplay. It's like,
I forgot about that. Yep.
Yeah.
That was disrespectful.
Yeah.
I know, because that looked kind of interesting, and then I was like, done. I'm like, cool, great.
No gameplay.
Just when we're about to get to gameplay, it ends.
So, in all honesty, I give the Game Awards in whole about a 6. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh man, it was pretty good minus Xbox." To me, it was all right. I mean, there are some standout parts. I'll give it to Atomic Heart, but like, I've seen that like 3 other times, other places.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, that was just shown off by PlayStation not that long ago.
Yeah.
Same with Tekken. Already seen that game. A lot of these games I've already seen before. They say world premiere, but it's not.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, remember this
It's
game?
it's a world premiere of a different trailer. It's not a world premiere of that game.
Yeah.
Like Replace, we already seen that. I already seen Party Animals. Like I seen that like 2 years ago.
Like a 4-minute trailer for Party Animals.
Yeah, I know.
Like
here's a dog. Here's a yellow cat. It's like, dude, I'm like, okay, I get. It's like, relax.
So like one of the like I guess there were like maybe 3 or 4 surprises other than games I never heard of that were there, and that was
Judas or whatever.
Yeah, Judas was one of them.
Yeah.
Jedi Survivors, kind of. I mean, they kind of did it
beforehand.
We already knew about it, but they never really did a trailer for it.
Yeah.
And then and then the other one was
Armored Core
was Armored Core.
Yeah, but we don't know.
Armored Core. Really. And then here actually a fourth one, Death Stranding. That was just a rumor.
That's a cool, but yeah.
That one was just a rumor. So other than that, like I said, about a handful.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I give it a 6 out of 10. Mm-hmm. And 6 isn't the worst score I've ever given a showcase at all. I mean, hell, there was that Disney showcase that I gave like a 0. That shit was just awful. But
sounds terrible.
But yeah, like all this hype that people are giving this this showcase, the best parts of it had nothing to do with the games, in my opinion. I had more fun seeing somebody talk about there's a killer in the crowd, and then a little kid sneaks up on stage. That was was funny. Or I mean, it shouldn't have happened, and I really hope they spruce up security. But it's just like, wow,
you would hope.
That's interesting.
I know.
And then you got Key over here talking about hats and caps and horrible jokes.
That shit was just fucking terrible.
Horrendous.
That was embarrassing. I was actually embarrassed.
I hope he didn't write that joke.
Like, no, he didn't. There's no fucking way he wrote that shit.
Nah.
And then I seen Among Us like 6 times. Like, come on, y'all. Like, y'all really want to say this was an 8?
Yeah.
People are really out here saying this is. I can see somebody saying this is as high as like a 7.5. I can understand that, but I start to need some splaining when you get up to 8, 8.5, 9. Maybe Final Fantasy is your type of game, and then I might say, you know what, that makes sense, because if it was my very favorite game to be on there, I'd probably give it an 8, 8.5 or something like that, maybe a 9 too. But if you're not looking forward to Final Fantasy, or you don't have like a PlayStation 5 and you're out here telling me this is a 9, like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
The only thing it was a 9 for was third party.
Yeah.
Third party killed it. And let's keep in mind, Final Fantasy isn't a first party game. That's third party. In my opinion, anybody that was first party at that showcase at the Game Awards, the one that probably ended up on top was Nintendo. Because they talked they talked about they talked about no, did they even talk about no, they didn't even talk about Zelda, did they? They didn't even talk about that. That was just up for an award.
I thought they did.
That was just most anticipated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
There's no trailer. There's no trailer for.
You're right.
So as a matter of fact, I take that back. Nintendo wasn't even the best. They were all boring. All three of the first party Nintendo, PlayStation,
the closest we got was
Xbox didn't even show up. I think they all this was a great show for third party, but if you're going anywhere outside of that, I just don't see it. And when you ask me what I'm excited for which console, I can't tell you. I mean, some people are sitting here telling me Replace looks great. I don't get it yet. It's not for me. I don't think. Maybe. I just don't see it.
I mean, I think it looks great, but the thing is, that's not what I was fucking looking there for. I mean, I think that game looks amazing, and I want it, but that's not what I was. That's not what I was hoping from the VGAs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I was dying to see at the VGAs. So I knew I already want that game. You know, I know I want that game. But the thing is, also though, that game's an indie game.
I'm trying to. I mean, I get that. I get that it's an indie game, and indie
what I'm trying to say is though, is that it's the VGAs. It's supposed to be like imagine you know how there's The Last of Us. It's all like a cinematic game, but they're trying to bring that type of immersion to a side scroller.
What's the fucking
with
art
cinematic combat and stuff like that? I recommend watching the first trailer again. I feel like the first trailer did a much better job of kind of explaining what that game is.
It's personally. The fucking 8-bit art style with the lighting in that game looks incredible.
Yeah. It reminds me of those Octopath Traveler. It reminds me of those HD 2D pixel art games that Square Enix does, Octopath Traveler.
But good.
I'm just kidding. It kind of reminds me of that style. That's just.
But still, once again, as much as I want to play that game, I wasn't fucking really there for that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get into that shit again. I'm excited for Replace though. I want it. But
I feel like it's going to be like Trek to Yomi, where everyone's really hyped about it. It comes out.
That game.
A couple months go by. No one's talking about it ever again. That's what I feel.
I mean,
like
indie games in general, I feel like unfortunately have that shelf life. I can't really think of many unless it's like a farming sim.
Yeah, there's not a lot of indie game. I mean, Vampire Survivors really is one, but outside of that, the arc for indie games typically is that. It's it comes out.
Do you think that game is going to have as much hype as Vampire Survivors? Because Vampire Survivors came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I feel like it's just Vampire Survivors. It's what? They just kind of went out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's not going to have that hype because Vampire Survivors is it's such an easy game. I don't know. We've never played Replace.
It is accessible.
Yeah, it's such an easy game to play. You could easily spend 3 hours in that game without even realizing it. But because you just die and then you hit a button and you're playing again.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like in Replace, but it's I highly doubt that it's going to be that easy.
Well, it's going to be a lot slower
play.
Placed. It's going to be a lot more slower.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Vampire Survivors is instant gratification, every fucking second. Mm-hmm. So it's addicting in the way it just keeps you playing. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's going to be the case with a Replace. You'll probably have to ease your way into things. You'll probably die. You'll probably have to do it again. Yeah. You'll there'd probably be a lot of things you got to get used to in that game, I would imagine.
You have to make sure you got some free time, before you start it. It's get in the mood,
Yep.
Oh my god.
Light a candle.
So, yeah, I was gonna say Twan's out here lighting candles.
Yeah.
popping champagne.
You gotta have those lights that just kind of dim just right.
He's shooing his brother out.
You put a lot of thought into this. I don't like this.
All right, Twan.
I know Todd's like, I need the lube. You gotta. I'm just kidding. All right.
He's got the light show going on from the original
I don't want to start it,
Xbox.
but
Juan's like, now we're going too far. That's just sick.
that's just sick. I won't even talk about the lube just yet. I'm just kidding.
A funny thing about the Game Awards was like throughout the whole thing, Matt was like, please don't end with Final Fantasy. Please don't end with Final Fantasy. And then they end with Final Fantasy. Like that's just such a shitty game to end on. You know, like you gotta end it off with a bigger bang. End it with something that we don't know about. You know,
I feel like fucking Death Stranding
honestly,
should have
I
been
feel like that show
ending.
was something I already saw before.
Honestly,
like that would have been a way better way to end it.
I think that is way more.
At least that's kind of surprising.
Bang.
Yeah. I didn't like knowing the end of the show. Like he literally just told us like halfway through the show or like a quarter of the way through or something like that.
Yeah.
And we're tying it up with Final Fantasy, and it literally was that, and it was it.
Yeah, it's like
okay. And then the Final Fantasy guy got up there. Final Fantasy guy got up there and he's like, "We're the last thing in the show," and I'm just like, "That fucking sucks." That's just terrible. Like, don't be so proud of that. But I mean, I'm just kidding. But like,
I'm not.
It was just, I don't know. I get it's a huge franchise. It's just so I don't know, man. It's just so wildly unappealing to me. Really, just
everything's not for everybody.
That's true. That's very, very true.
If it's not for me, then the game's a piece of shit, right, Twan?
Final Fantasy really ain't for me. I'll tell you that.
Fact.
But yeah.
Yes, it's a fact.
But if I had to go with anything that impressed me, I think the biggest thing is Judas. Outside of Atomic Heart, I already know I'm excited for that. But the biggest thing that surprised me is Judas. And the fact that it's also 2023. I don't remember seeing a release date on the end of that, but there is one, and it releases in 2023. Not a date, but like a year.
Yeah.
And I was expecting that would be like 2024, 2025, but no, it's apparently coming next year. So I cannot wait for that game. And then, the things like you guys said, Jedi Survivor, the gameplay looks incredible. Death Stranding 2 looks interesting. I need to finish the first one.
More
Remnant 2 looks kind of interesting too.
Remnant 2 looked pretty good.
I love how I knew it was Remnant when I saw the dude with the cowboy hat. I knew right away.
I certainly did not.
Proud of you. Fucking stupid. Just kidding. All right, go on.
Also didn't play Remnant.
Yeah, I only played a little bit of it. It was fun.
But it looks cool. So, I mean, yeah, I give that show, I said it before the show, before we went live, I give that about a 7.5. Looking back on it after the initial disappointment of, wow, that sucks that Xbox wasn't there. Just looking at it from specifically games, I give it a 7.5. And the only thing that keeps that from going higher is just honestly all the games that were just not in. Like, it felt like every game in there was Genshin Impact. It felt like every single game in there was Genshin Impact for like a good 45 minutes in a row, and I was just ready to die in the middle of that show. I was just ready.
You don't want to play as a quirky teenage student,
and then there's some like flying toddler next to it. I'm so, what is this stupid game? What is this? Like, why are people playing it? But yeah, 7.5 for me. I think that about wraps up the topics. Let me double check it here, but I do believe that about wraps up the topics. In which case, that would bring us.
I mean, we're already getting over schedule. I feel like.
Hold on. We're already at 2 hours. Yeah. Okay. So, how about we just keep it moving? Do you guys have any hot takes? Cold takes?
I got one. I'm gonna keep it really brief. And it goes back to what I was talking about with Aaron Greenberg. So there was a take, I believe. I think it was. I don't remember who had mentioned it to me. It might have even been you, Matt. But Broken Games had said or had shown a bunch of different posts of Aaron Greenberg.
It was Umbra,
saying,
I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was Umbra. That was Umbra. That had shown a bunch of takes where Aaron Greenberg has said the exact same or something very similar to what he had said after the Game Awards, which is,
what do you mean?
Hold on, you guys.
Oh.
We got stuff coming. Don't worry.
We know you're disappointed. We know you're disappointed, but you're not going to have to wait very long.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I just thought I'd bring that up because I just thought it was really interesting that Aaron Greenberg is now getting caught pretty much for saying the exact same things. I'm not sitting here saying Xbox is going to just screw up 2023 because I think at this point the position that they put themselves in, it's just like they just can't do that. They just cannot do that.
Yeah.
But the irony still stands strong. And it's still wild to be able to see that, you know, you guys still have a history of saying one thing and not exactly following through.
Yeah. It's interesting to say the least. And all you can really do, again, all you can really do is hope that this time there's some truth to it.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. But I'm trying to find a take. In fact, while I'm trying to find mine,
I got a take.
Okay, yeah, there you go, Twan.
Okay, so there's this one guy. I saw this. I forgot his name, but it's not hard to say his name anyways. But he said something along the lines of the fact that the FTC is going after Microsoft and Microsoft is actually having to fight against them proves that Microsoft is anti-consumer. That's what he said.
I saw this.
Yeah.
And the replies, he was baiting people.
Yeah. So he was baiting people.
That was bait.
Okay.
So but he baited a lot of people because I saw Colt Eastwood was in there.
Colt.
He was in there. He baited a lot of people with that shit. But yeah, I saw that take, and my initial reaction to that was, "Holy shit, this guy is stupid." But
a lot of people liked it though. So I mean,
tons of people liked it. I don't even know if tons of people fell for it as much as tons of people were like, "Hell yeah, you tell them." Like,
yeah.
But
okay. So at least
that was
at least you know it's bait and
he's
fine, I guess. Like
he's at least smart enough to at least hopefully not believe that.
Yeah.
But
okay, so
I guess
before I
go,
done,
did you have one, Mike?
I'm just to say it again from earlier. People need to stop making this Activision deal court case their entire personality. That's really it. That's just my take. Just be a fucking normal human being about this, and video games in general. Fucking.
I 100% agree with that.
That's really it.
Everyone thinks there's lawyers nowadays.
My take comes from MBG, and I'm not going to read this whole tweet here, but it's essentially him saying Microsoft doesn't need. He's tired of people. He's tired of the idea that Microsoft needs Activision, and to that I say, just real quick, Microsoft doesn't need Activision, Blizzard, or King. The only reason this thing is happening is because it fell into their lap. And that's my only little bit of pushback. This whole idea that Microsoft is weak for going after Activision Blizzard when they didn't go after them. Activision was like, "Can you please buy us?"
Yeah.
And Microsoft was like, "Oh, okay." And then now we're here. But yeah. That's not a super spicy take or anything. I'm just tired of seeing people using this as like as why does Microsoft need they don't nobody needs Activision. It's insane. Nobody needs it.
They've gone this long without Activision.
Exactly. You know? Nobody needs it. It's insane to think anyone does. But yeah, that is all I've got. And then we've got to close out the show, overrated, underrated. Now, does anybody have an overrated or underrated or both game of the week?
I'll do an underrated game. So one game I feel like doesn't get enough love is actually it's kind of like the black sheep in the series. It's actually Metroid Prime Hunters for the Nintendo DS. So this game was it was a little bit slammed when it first came out, but like when you actually play nowadays, man, you realize this thing was like a technical showcase for the DS. Like it was actually impressive what they got to run on this thing. This is like a full first person shooter, like there's like actual like good texture work done on everything. The areas themselves are really open and the graphics are like very impressive. But other than that, the multiplayer is what I really want to talk about because like the multiplayer was actually a huge selling point of this game. And and even nowadays, like there's actually like a Discord community and they actually get together, get some games going because like honestly, like they even had voice chat built into the DS as well. Like you do voice chat and play Metroid Prime online. And like it probably sounds like shit.
Voice chatting on the DS.
Yeah,
it's so fucking
it's actually wild. It's wild when you think about it. Yeah, like I mean, not even like the fucking Switch has that. I feel like with most games.
Is this a bunch of people saying I can't hear you?
Yeah.
It's wind.
Just the
hey, it's an average PlayStation party. I'm kidding.
Honestly, like that was like I think
I've evolved since Xbox and PlayStation Party. I am now on Discord. Actually, I technically use it through the PC.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the moment All Stars came out on the PS5, people realized, okay, the mic on the controller was a bad idea. Like the moment All Stars came out, because it was turned on by default, and everyone was just hearing everyone breathing all the time.
Or clicking on the controllers.
Yeah, that click on the controllers is such a bad idea.
Imagine right, if I do a Eternal, I played that main on PS5 and I didn't have a normal mic. Yeah. And it's like,
yeah, because like the buttons are right next to it, right? So
that would lose his mind.
Anyways, back on topic, Metro. So the game was kind of nobody really likes this game. I feel like nowadays. But I don't know. I feel like it's a really great game. Even the controls, like with the stylus, it's very accurate. How you can aim with it, it's almost like mouse accurate. I'd say.
Oh, that sounds upsetting.
Aiming
with the stylus. Okay,
but it works. I mean, obviously,
it fucking sucked. I hated aiming with a stylus in games.
You'll get you'll get the cramps after a while, but it's accurate.
You
get the cramps after a while. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I remember playing Call of Duty 4 on the DS or whatever the fuck
my brother was all about Call of Duty on the DS back in the day.
Dude,
oh my god.
Dude,
you got a family full of criminals, Swan.
And like the thing is, right, is because you love COD, so you played it, right? But like, dude, it was I'm like letting you know right now. I just like simulated the fucking hand movement to get. Oh, dude, no, fuck that. Never mind, dude. I'm talking about that. My hand's starting to cry in pain.
Like everyone would walk out with Modern Warfare 3 on the nice Xbox 360. He'd walk out with the DS copy. That was him.
Oh, like, poor kid.
And I mean, well, thankfully, if this deal goes through, then your brother can look forward to Call of Duty on the Switch.
Yeah. Don't worry.
There we go.
It might not, and he'll have to just keep playing the old Switch.
It was funny. Actually, I have a funny story because of that. I have a funny story because I got the Steam Deck, right? And I loaded up Black Ops and I showed it to him running, the real Black Ops on a handheld playing zombies, and he almost cried. Like he's like, holy shit, this is all I ever wanted. Like it was crazy for him to see that, just seeing the actual Black Ops.
Almost fucking just starts bawling as
he's like, my life has been leading up to this point. Like that's what he said.
Like he just saw Christ.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was really fun doing that. But anyways,
but yours was Metroid. What was the name of the game again?
Metroid Prime Hunters.
Hunters.
It's like a first-person shooter on the Nintendo DS. I think it's really cool. It's a really cool game. I feel like everyone, like most of the main Metroid, a lot of them hate it, but I think it's good. I kind of grew up on it too, so I'm kind of biased, but whatever. That's besides the point. Yeah,
it's not bad. What about you, Han? Got anything?
So I'm gonna go a little bit recent.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna go on ahead and say that Callisto Protocol. Yeah.
Really?
Overrated.
Okay. I had a
Over
feeling
or
you were
under?
gonna say that.
Over.
Overrated.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Really?
Ooh.
Yep. And
Okay.
here's why.
No.
You take
That's no
away the
bueno.
fidelity, and it's a 3.
Damn, god damn. I heard you say this last night and I was shocked. Oh yeah, explain.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
I
I
think
want
that's
to hear
pretty
why you say this.
self-explanatory.
God damn.
So you think the game's just all
Even
about the
Ham's like, I just want to
fidelity?
go to fuck to bed.
Fair enough.
I mean, you're not lying. But
That's a very short
Dude,
review.
work is
Imagine this guy works at IGN and he makes the review that long, just be like, "Yeah, that explains for itself," and just like not even a minute review. It's like just 20 seconds.
I'm just
long.
Review
saying.
just says number.
Take away how good that game looks and tell me, are you dodging like that for 12 hours? No
so you
roll.
think the
Probably.
fidelity? You say that fidelity is what makes the game, is what you're saying?
The fidelity is what made that game,
Yeah,
is what I'm telling you.
all right.
Because that
Okay.
game,
the gameplay is nothing. Doesn't
the
hold us to what you're
gameplay,
saying.
I mean, the feeling you get when you hit somebody is nice. But all that
That's my time in
shimmying,
real life.
all that shimmying through vents and sideways and door openings and monsters behind you that you can't attack and monsters that I'm like monsters being around you and you can only dodge one at a time. Running is like the lightest jog ever in the most dangerous situation. I mean, like I said, take the fidelity away from that game, and it's a 3.
But is it really fair to take away the fidelity of that game? Because it's a part of the game, right? You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying.
Because you could say, "Oh, here's God of War," but take away the story.
Telling you.
Like,
You just explained.
I mean, it's a part of the game, is it not?
You just explained my point, though. The fidelity is such a big part of that game that without how great that game looks, it's not a good game.
Damn. Hey man. That's A-okay. That's
Hey,
an
well, it's a good thing.
A-okay.
It's a good
That's an
thing the game
A-okay
has,
choice.
it's a good thing the game has the fidelity then. So
Yeah.
I mean, the game
Okay.
looks amazing. The story is kind of forgettable.
yeah.
I agree with that. I didn't get into the story until like the last hour, and then all of a sudden it just fucking ended. And I was like, oh, okay, well,
Well,
I
that's
guess I'll wait
stories-
till the next
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So the story is kind of forgettable. The saving in the game is worthless.
Yeah.
Watching your gun upgrade isn't as cool as it may seem. The first time you put that gun in there to get upgraded, you're like, "Oh, this looks kind of cool." When you put like the second or third upgrade on it, you gotta like squint and see like what changed about it.
Yeah.
Or the baton or anything that you got. And it's just
I
like
can definitely agree with that.
I don't see enough of a piece of that game to where I was just like, man, I was wowed from one thing after another. It was like I was wowed by the fidelity and kind of interested by the story. And the gameplay was just good enough to keep me continually playing. But if I took out the best thing about the game to me, which I think was the way it looked, if I were to take that out and put in Vampire Survivor graphics, I don't think this game.
If you're doing that, yeah.
I don't think this game is making it off the shelf.
No.
Oh, 100%.
This is only a digital game, and it is
a bad one.
Not gonna be any sort of a collector game or anything like that.
All right.
Like
Gotcha.
I'm that's just what I think about that game. Now, don't get me wrong. I had fun playing the game, and I was in photo mode a lot, being like, man, this thing looks phenomenal, looks good. Like, look at this vent. Oh my god, look at that smoke. I'm getting showered in blood. Like there was some really cool parts, but like I said, all of that was cool because of how good the game looked.
Yeah.
Take that away, and it's just not that great.
Yeah.
That's fair. Especially if you're gonna make it look like Vampire Survivors, because
So you're saying like if this game came on PS2,
that'd be rough.
So you're saying if this game had like PS2 graphics, it would be garbage, is what you're saying.
I mean, if it came out now, fuck yeah, it would be terrible. But now you explain it. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying there.
I think they have an amazing template to go off of, but they have a lot of work to do to make it better.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like the thing that really hurt that game, probably for a lot of people, I know it did for myself, was the fact that it was $70. If that game was $50 and I rated it on a basis of, hey, I spent $50 for this, I'd probably have given it, instead of a 7.5, I'd have given it a maybe 8.5. But it's the fact that I paid $70 for
was
it.
the PS4 version $70?
No,
$60.
No, it was the next gen version, $70. But
yeah.
But yeah,
that game have a last gen version? I don't even know if it did.
Yeah, it did.
Right?
It did.
It actually did. I just figured
that
out.
I didn't think it did, but it did. I've seen people playing it on PS4.
I looked and I was like, yeah. That was like PS4 and Xbox One.
On the fat VCR.
I just figured that out
One.
today. Like I saw a comment on Twitter. Like, I just saw like one guy's like, it's on PS4. I'm like, what, really? And I checked. And I was like, shit, it is. It's on
That's
PS4.
gotta be. That's
I bought it
fucking
immediately.
terrible.
I'm dying to see what that looks like on a VCR Xbox. I'm dying to see what that
looks. Fucking sure melt your eyes.
Terrible. Yeah,
I'm sure it will.
It'll blow your mind.
I bet it would. To be honest, like if that game, I mean, think about it. If that game would have came out during the Xbox One generation, that probably would have blew our minds.
True. Yeah. That's totally
we melt our console. Who knows?
We don't really know how scaled
and
back
our minds and our console.
Yeah.
But Mike, do you got an overrated, underrated?
Doom Eternal, just because of the fact there's an option in the menus to play with the Doom 64 sound effects for your weapons if you have the deluxe edition. That's it.
Doom only because of Doom, and I like Doom.
Exactly. I lift things up and I put things down. You guys remember those commercials?
That's genius. I don't, but I'm proud of you. Regardless,
I really have nothing. I'm like way too tired.
I'm glad you like Jim. I'm glad you like.
Honestly, that's fair. This has gone on for about 2.5 hours, so it's a fair.
I swear to God, I actually did have an. I can't even remember right now, man. Like I'm fucking tired.
You're all good. And I'm gonna close it out by saying that Need for Speed Unbound is underrated. I think this game is critically underrated
last week.
Now you're getting it, fraud.
Yeah, I still stand with some of the stuff I said.
I say it's underrated.
I still stand with some of the stuff I said. In fact, I have more.
Okay. I say it's underrated just speaking on its actual rating. I don't really pay attention to what people are saying. What people are saying, I could see how you would say it's overrated. But by how it stands on Metacritic, what people give it like last time, it's like an 79 or an 80 or something.
That's insane.
And
I think it's better than that.
I think it's way underrated in that regard.
If Forza like no shade to Forza, but if Forza is a must play in the 90, what was it? 93, 90,
94,
92?
95, I think. It was 95, I think. Well, no, 92. 92.
I'm gonna look it up.
But it was a must play game. Yeah, and like to me, it's just like if you played racing games in the past, then this Need for Speed is a must play. And a lot of people are saying that this is like, they're saying the same thing that you're saying. I see so many more people saying great things about this game than bad things. So to me, it's just wild that it's over 10 points below Forza. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it's better than Forza. I still think Forza probably is just more accessible and more easy for everybody to play.
Yeah, I mean, Need for Speed, it's a hard game. Like you're gonna rarely win a Need for Speed Unbound.
Yeah, it's actually difficult.
Yeah, like when you actually win a game in first place, you're like, yes, I won.
Yeah,
you know, that hasn't happened in so long. You know, like it's like you
have
to earn a win.
I mean, hey,
also restart a lot though. I do the restart, so I use them.
The thing is, you could only restart 4 times, so you want to use that sparingly.
Exactly. So I end up using them so sparingly that I just don't use them.
Yep.
Unless I get to the end of the race and I was in first place, and then some bullshit happens at the end, then I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'm restarting.
The only time I'd restart is if I lose money in a race. If it says negative like $2,000, I'm like, yeah, I'm restarting this, because you could lose money because the buy-ins, right?
Yep.
So
them buy-ins are tricky. Those buy-ins fool you sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you'll see there's like a grand prize of like 15, 20K, and then you forget about the buy-ins like $7 or 10 grand. Yeah. And you're like, oh shit, I forgot.
You're actually only getting $2,000. You're only getting like $2,000 out of this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
but yeah, I think that's it. I think we're all done though. So thanks everybody for stopping through. Make sure you guys check out any information that you'd like to know in the description, like where we're all at. We have all our channel stuff in there. So whether you want to check us out here some more every Sunday, or if you want to see us on other platforms like Twitch, or you want to see us on our other YouTube channels, you can definitely check us out there. Me at They Said We Said, Matt at Matt Likes Games, and then Twan, and then Hard Days Mike does some Twitch streaming, a lot of Doom and other games where he's killing people. But thank you so much everybody for Genshin Impact. Thank you so much for everybody showing up. Make sure you guys show up next week for our show. I believe that might be one of our last ones of the year. I'm not sure if we're going to do the one the week after that, but we'll keep you guys updated. Keep that in mind, and we will see everybody soon. See you later.
See ya.
See ya.
Oh.
I think we're offline now.
Oh, one second.